Okay, looks like I'm live. Good to see that. Oh, 1 second. Okay, not sure if anyone's watching yet, but I'll do my little intro anyway. So, this is Men of War Assault Squad 2. This is a very interesting, very odd RTS that I like a lot, that also has a lot of issues and a huge barrier to entry. So, actually, the first part of this video isn't even going to be playing the game, it's going to be addressing that barrier to entry, which is quite steep. I'm actually going to lower the game audio a little bit. Okay, so this game, this RTS specifically, is very, very heavy on micromanagement. In fact, pretty much all of the advanced strategies of the game kind of boil down to what do I want to micromanage and how much do I want to micromanage it and what am I trying to accomplish with that. So it's a game about prioritizing where you're micromanaging once you really get into it, at least in my experience. So, given that it's a game about prioritizing micromanaging, it really needs to do two things. One is it needs to have lots and lots of UI design that is geared towards making that micromanagement as easy as possible so it's not extremely frustrating, which it does to some degree, but it slips up in some areas. But the second one is it needs to do a really, really good job of teaching the player how to play it. And I'm sad to say that it does not do. And I will get to that in a second. But before I get to why this game is bad at teaching people to play it, I'm actually going to make a little land game here, just to show off the all of what you can do in this game, because I'm not actually, oh wait, I don't need a password, it's a land game. I'm not actually going to be playing multiplayer in this, because if I do, well, A, I'm not sure I can get a match, and B, if I do, I will just get stomped, because I'm not that good at this game. Ready up. Normally you would want to change a couple options, but for right now it doesn't really matter. I like the music quite a bit. Alright, so here we are in like kind of the standard multiplayer game mode, and this is like the multiplayer is the main meat of the game, even though there's plenty of time you can spend in the single player. So basically the idea is the objective is to capture and hold these 3 points, and the essentially, as long as you hold a point, it gives you progress towards victory, which is up here, and it also gives you points that you can spend on getting soldiers. So, just gonna go through some of the units here, as well as just kind of show off the basic mechanics of the game. So you're kind of two standard infantry. You've got our assault infantry and regular infantry. It pretty much boils down to assault infantry are going to be better close up and they cost less. Regular infantry are going to be better at long range, mainly because they've got a machine gun. So I click that, I summon them in. It costs me MP to do that. So now that I've got the game running and I've got soldiers on the field, let's go over the interface for a bit. So standard RTS, left click selects, right click moves. Right click is pretty much purely movement. Left click is what you use to do all other actions. So kind of the first hurdle on there, having the game not be intuitive to learn when it has tons of micromanagement, is that the interface layout is very odd. I do like the map, but so over here you have like your victory conditions and the points that you can spend on units, and then your unit list. And we've got infantry squads. We've got basically specialized infantry, which are guys that often require more micromanagement to be effective. These are kind of support vehicles for moving things around and for resupplying, because there's ammo in this game. This game has a lot of layered interlocking systems going on, which is part of why I like it, and also part of what makes it so tough to learn. Artillery is both long-range artillery and field guns. In multiplayer, the long-range artillery pretty much never gets used except, I think, the mortar. But the field guns are definitely very useful. Then you have basically infantry fighting vehicles here. Medium tanks, heavy tanks, and then some special elite units. And if I right-click on any of the squads, they'll actually give me a description of what they do. And if I right-click on the vehicles, I'll get kind of a description of what they do, kind of a bit of their history, and I can switch over and actually see their stats. Alright, so that's like the units tab, and I'll go over the units a little bit more in a moment. So then, if we just keep going around clockwise, like up here is victory conditions, and timer. I forget what this does, but down here, here's where we have commands for anybody I've got selected. You'll see I deselect the guys, it's empty, but I select them, or I can just do this. Basically, I can do select all of the commands I want them to do from here. This is their firing mode: fire at will, don't fire, or return fire. Basically, this allows the AI to automatically move on its own sometimes, which is sometimes desirable but usually not, and change stance, crouching, prone, standing. Various attack options. I can do the grenades, or attack ground, or attack an enemy, or melee attack, which I don't think I've ever seen used. Use an item. These guys come with sandbags. We'll get to the inventory. I can turn them so they face in different directions. The examine thing, this little eye here is actually used for checking inventory, which again I'll get to, and a dedicated repair tool. And these ones light up if I'm using a unit that it's relevant for, and this lets me cancel orders. Now, I don't actually have to use this menu for pretty much any of these commands between hotkeys and other places to use them. So, we've got that there. So those are our commands. Then over here, we have the various types of ammo and how much is left in the squad. Then we've got a squad select down here that I can hover over. to see what type of guy they are, or quick them to just select that one guy. Also, when this says Assault Rifleman, that just means Rifleman in Assault Squad. Hi, Dan. If you're just listening, you may not get the full experience out of this, but you'll get a decent amount. So, part of why we don't have to go into this menu on the lower right is because we've got these commands along the bottom here, which acts as kind of a hotbar for all of the things we might otherwise need to go into the attack options or use item menus to do. And this is why I use normally, and you can see the F keys act as hotkeys for this. And if something's grayed out, that's because it's not relevant. So, we've got all of that. Then over here, we have the weapons on my currently main selected soldier. You can tell which guy's in the lead because he's got the yellow icon there. Or on this screen, it'll say Assault Squad Leader. And also, if I select the leader of a unit individually, it will normally select the whole unit, but it didn't this time. Alright, I need to bind them to a control group, which, again, kind of standard RTS thing, control groups. Oh, it designated that guy as the leader? No, it designated that guy as the... Okay, that's odd. So yeah, I'll get to managing individual units in a second. But so down here, we can actually see the weapons on the unit I have selected and tell him to equip different things. So, which is odd, you'd think that might be better close to the ammo. So then, we've got the actual, like, kind of a few details, but not many on the actual unit we have selected. Including their health, stamina. Stamina's a thing, but it doesn't matter that much. And veterancy, which is kind of just a mechanic that's common to a lot of RTS games that just means if they kill a lot of guys, they get additional health. So we've got all those things there, but then, for some reason, shoved between the infantryman's, like, listing here and his weapons and his commands and his squad are various UI options. One is his inventory, which makes sense, but then there's a toggle for direct control mode here, which I guess that makes sense too. But then the view items on ground button, the view corpses button, and the highlight friendly soldiers button, which basically if they're in concealment, they'll get highlighted, are all there as well, which doesn't make sense. And then you've got the map setup buttons, the mini-map, the message history, the objectives right along the top of this. And then above this, you have the actual master list for all your units, which you'd think you'd want to set up so that the master list for all your units and this little listing of all of the individual guys in the squad are right next to each other. So if you want to select a specific guy, you can just hit this and then hit this immediately. Like, there's not much of a sensible progression. And then if I want to see, okay, what units have I still got alive, I've got to look over here. But if I want to summon new units, it's all the way on the opposite side. Alright, so, as you might have guessed from this, so this RTS is a, it's not a statistics-based RTS, is I think the term for stuff like StarCraft. It is a simulation RTS. That means that every single round, like every single weapon is actually simulated. There's actually fairly realistic. This is one of the most robust simulations I've seen in RTS. There's actually fairly realistic dynamic and destructible cover. So, like, if I do a ground attack, let's see if I can get some ricochets. Okay, no, because this isn't angled. Okay, let's... Actually, I'm not sure. I've never really used ground attack on rifles. Will that... Okay, that won't stay in effect. I really should, because suppressing fire is a thing in this game. So as you can see, there's two ways to move. One is just moving these guys around normally. The other is when my icon changes, they'll actually set up and cover here. And this has two advantages. One is that it cuts down on having to micromanage. And the other is that a lot of cover positions, they'll actually jump between a standing up and firing position and a ducking behind the cover position. But in general, like, being in cover is best. Being in prone is the next best thing. It not only makes you a smaller target, it also makes you more accurate. Although, if you can find cover you can get prone behind, that is usually the best, at least as far as defense goes. In terms of offense, sometimes you want a guy standing up because it'll actually allow him to see over more stuff and shoot more things. Because like I said, every single round is simulated. All of these slopes here are actually going to matter when it comes to whether or not we can hit things. Alright, I wanted to demonstrate that the cover is all destructible. So let's throw in AT mine. And now that cover has been mostly destroyed. I can do the same thing with house. Pretty much anything can be destroyed here. Yeah, or even just partially destroyed. In fact, sometimes partially destroying something will let you use its cover more effectively. So, there's actually two kinds of cover, of course. There's hard cover, and then there's concealment, which you can see with all the guys who are highlighted here. The line of sight that these guys provide me seems extremely long. That doesn't actually mean that I'm going to see enemy soldiers within that line of sight. The stance people are in, whether or not they're moving, and several other factors all contribute. And basically, a guy who is prone and still in concealment is practically invisible unless you're right on top of him. One thing, however, that will immediately reveal somebody is if they fire. Okay, so one more quick little thing, and then I'm going to show off a few of the units, and then I'm going to complain for a little bit. So, this is a really cool feature of this game. You can directly control any of your units. It's a little bit awkward, but once you get used to it, it's really cool to do. And actually, when you're direct controlling a unit, they actually get a bit of a buff on, I think the buff is range and accuracy, but the range is the important thing here. You can actually see, as I zoom in and out here, the circle of where I might hit gets wider. And of course this is going to be varying quite a bit by weapon. And you can also see the number to the right of the crosshair indicating the range. In the space where that number turns yellow, that's the range at which I would not be able to fire if I wasn't direct controlling. Additionally, the direct control will give me more range on grenades too, and grenades are actually a really, really big deal in this game. And oh right, I was accidentally cooking a frag grenade there, and now my guy is dead. Oh well. So yeah, the main reason you'd want to direct control most infantry is grenades. Alright, so let me go through the units a bit. So I already brought out an assault infantry squad. The regular infantry is just that with a machine gun, so they're very good at long-range fire and holding down positions. Oh, right. Also, I want to point out, down where you see the weapon here, there's a couple diamonds next to it. That ranges from 1 to 4, and it actually shows the soldier's skill with that weapon. And typically, any squad you get, they will have 1 skill for any weapons that come with their squad, and then all other weapons they'll have less skill in. So we've also got these weaker conscripts, basically, who are poorly trained and lightly armed. So they've got mostly rifles, and their skill is going to be 1 in everything, and they'll have really low health. Also, as a general rule, of course, rifles bear at long range, SMGs bear at short range, because the SMG bullets, they do less damage overall, and the accuracy falls off faster over distance, and the actual max range of an SMG is lesser. Combat engineers are a special thing. They deploy mines and such, which I'm just gonna show real quick. I'm not really gonna do anything with it, but click on the mines. Oh wait, no, not right click. Not right click. Left. Wait. What am I doing wrong here? Okay, it's been a while since I've used mines. Oh no, it is right click for mines. Okay. So basically, I pull them out in a line, and then my guy will automatically lay mines. I think they only hit the enemy. And there's, for some reason, the combat engineers, there's separate ones for AT and AP mines. I can bring in Panzer Grenadiers, which are like your standard elite unit with, I think, 4 in it. Yeah, 4 in everything. So, and then I can also bring in a mechanized Panzer Grenadiers, which is basically move them into position quickly with the mechanized bit, and also I also get to keep the half track they come in on and use that as an infantry fighting vehicle, basically. So when it comes to specialized soldiers, there's these options to buy individual SMGs and riflemen. I don't really see much point in doing this at all, unless you have a very specific purpose in mind. AT rifle and infantry, however, that has a good reason to be there. Basically, every army is either going to have an AT rifle or an RPG team. That's 2 guys. One is the guy with the AT and an SMG, and the other is a support infantry with an SMG, who basically just has additional ammo for the AT weapon, and they also have a bunch of AT grenades between them. Wait, I thought they did, but I only see 2 here. Okay, maybe that's a campaign quirk, which I'll get to in a minute. Oh, also the Panzer Grenadiers don't just come with... they come with an abnormally large number of submachine guns, and they come... 2 of them have rocket launchers. So they have AT built right into them. Oh, actually, apparently AT rifle and AT are separate options that you aren't restricted to one for each faction. That's a campaign quirk, which kind of pisses me off. There's also elite marksmen, which are basically riflemen who are very good at shooting, but just riflemen, so they're not going to be good at close range. Elite AT infantry and elite machine gunners, basically just more highly skilled versions of the same unit. So this officer is fun, especially in simulation RTS, but in general in RTS, intelligence, line of sight, extremely important, obviously. And the infantry are kind of the core of everything, not just because of their ability to fit anywhere and engage most things and be cheap and cost effective, but also because they provide your best line of sight in this game. Now, the officer is really special. He's got a pistol, which you never want to bother using. He's also got a signal flare here that he can use to signal a heavy ammo drop. But the main reason you want him is for the binoculars. So I'm going to direct control this guy, and as I do that, you'll notice wherever I aim, and I can just zoom out over here, wherever I aim, as long as it's within his line of sight, he will give me a sight bubble in that area. And this little, actually, I'm going to move him up somewhere that he's going to have more areas he can see. So actually, normally what I'd do with this guy is I'd like hide him in a bush over here probably. So he gives me this sight bubble, and actually when I have him go into this view, his actual main line of sight he provides, it either narrows or goes away completely. But this doesn't just allow me to get sight beyond my normal range. It actually will completely reveal anything that's sitting within this area. And I can actually ground attack this guy and just have him giving me sight there, which is great for any like long range or indirect fire weapons. And then there's also the sniper and the flamethrower infantry. Actually, I'm going to show off the flamethrower infantry when I do a battle, so I won't show them off here. But in general, the specialist units are units you're going to want to micromanage more. The sniper actually has a similar effect to the officer, except that his is a much shorter area, but it's also paired with his attack where he'll select an enemy soldier, and now he's got perfect view of that enemy soldier, so even if the guy drops out of sight, he'll still be able to line up his shot. And it will slowly basically charge up an attack that will do massive damage when he fires and usually instantly kill whoever he's shooting. So the next category, the artillery, essentially, is there a limit to how much I can have on the field? Is there a way to kill my units? Oh wait, of course there's a way to kill my units off. What am I thinking? You know what? Let's do this the fun way. So yeah, the flamethrower is pretty much useless unless you're direct controlling, in which case it can be a beast. You're not even seeing anywhere close to its full power because it's not engaging like emplaced guys. This thing can like just, it's an indirect fire weapon. It can decimate concealment and like weapon emplacements, and it can even kill armored vehicles. It's just a monster. All right, so artillery, you've got a heavy MG, which is pretty basic. You've got a flak, which is one of the few infantry killer weapons. Like, basically AA guns and autocannons are infantry killers that will just shred infantry so badly because they've got relatively high rates of fire and will just go through most cover and kill them in like 1 or 2 shots. Mortar, very good for gain out entrenchments, and then several different anti-armor field guns, including some big ones, and then the artillery. This is pretty much all infantry fighting weapons, and also it's basically light vehicles, but most of them are there to fight infantry and have some ability to fight armor. The actual tanks, and then the super tanks. And then, yeah, the elite units I don't know that much about because I don't really get to use these in the campaign. Oh, except the radio operator. The radio operator basically throws a thing that calls in artillery. You know what? Since I'm here, I'm going to experiment with this rocket launcher since I've never gotten to use it. Oh my god, that is insane. Okay, yeah, that is amazing. How long? Oh, this thing takes forever to reload. But so this is really an offensive weapon, probably, which honestly most of them are. So yeah, there's lots of cool little details. All these guys have inventory, direct control, lots of little details in the mechanics, which I will show off soon. And you can tell there's a lot of little things you could do, and figuring out just what you can do will take a bit of time. Like, I probably haven't even shown half of it here. Oh, right. Also, you can double-click to run, guys, and that's pretty much the only reason stamina exists, to stop you from just constantly running. So, now I'm going to leave this game. And complain for a little bit. So, like I said, it's really important to tutorialize this. So, how do they tutorialize it? Well, if I go into single player and select mission, so the first mission of every sorry, 1 second. The first mission of every campaign is basically sort of a tutorial mission, except that while it presents you with a tutorial scenario, it assumes that you know the basic controls and mechanics. So it's not entirely a tutorial. It teaches you... It's good for learning how to actually play the game, but not for learning the controls and what you can do in the game. So for that, if we want to get that, we need to go to bonus missions, and then the only bonus mission I have here, I think there's a DLC I don't have, is Introduction. In other words, the mission you're supposed to play first is embedded in bonus missions. Also, if you start a mission, always have Fog of War on. If you don't, you're not really playing Men of War. So there's that, but even those two things together, like, really the ideal tutorial for this is something that's kind of a cross between this introduction mission and the first mission of every campaign, because the introduction mission has problems in that it plays itself in a way... A, it adds complexity too quickly, and B, it plays itself in the sense that you won't get the chance to learn how everything you're getting to use works, because there's allied infantry running forward and clearing things out for you. Whereas the first mission of every campaign is, I'd say, a much better setup for learning that stuff, but doesn't actually go out of its way to teach you a number of the core mechanics. So, in addition to those, you also need to find the tips and tutorials to teach you all the mechanics those don't teach, which are, of course, in bonus content, because that's where you look for tutorials. And downloadable content user-generated content. Guides will bring you to the Steam page, and then tutorials gives you these tutorials. These are all video tutorials made, except for tips. This is the list of tips that shows up on the load-in screens. Also, UI design right here. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, hi, Arcanus. Apparently, I did not fix my title. I just updated it. Okay, so, all of these are like couple-minute videos made by community members who like are now credited in the special thanks. So, if you actually want a complete tutorial of this game, the best way to do it is just to search for tutorials on YouTube and find the community members that they got to make these videos for them. So these actually show you like actual standard mechanics, like picking up items and like rearming vehicles and stuff that the game never teaches you to do in game. It's very clear that either they had actually teaching people to play their multiplayer game as an afterthought, or that they struggled with it a lot. So because these things are really quick and short, I'm actually going to play one of these just so you can see like the kind of stuff that they left out of the tutorial. Let's see, what would be a good one here? Oh, actually, I think this one's a good one because it also shows you a couple of their UI issues.
Some units also carry hedgehogs and barbed wire. A hedgehog can stop tanks from driving through. So to build one, I'll select one of my combat AT engineers. They contain hedgehogs. If I click use item, you can see it has a hedgehog item here. Click on this. When you hover over the map, there should be a cog icon, and you can just left click, it'll place one hedgehog, or if I press the hedgehog again, I can also right click on the map and drag. You can see it's only going to show you the first item of where it's going to place the first one, but if I drag further up, it's going to continue placing it. After it's placed this one, it's going to place another one here, another one here. We'll let that go and we'll show you the result later. While that's going, I'll show you barbed wire. And Combat Engineer AP type does have barbed wire. So firstly I'll select one, click use item, click set barbed wire. I can do the same with the hedgehog by holding right click on the map, dragging, it'll place the first one here, and as far as I dragged, it'll continue to place. As you can see now, after the first one's in place, you can see the trace of the other ones that are going to be placed. So let's watch these guys build away. You can see it does take some time, so you do need a bit of preparation time where the enemy is not there, as you are quite vulnerable to fire. As you can see now, it's build one, and you can see now here for this barbed wire, the other areas where it's going to be placed. You can also collect more. Let's say if I purchase a infantryman here, rifleman, I can use this guy to place barbed wires and hedgehogs too. A combat engineer truck, which is located in the transport and procurement button, by clicking the bottom right one here with the hedgehog, contains this. So if I press X, click on the engineer truck, I can now transfer a hedgehog or a barbed wire into my infantryman, so this normal infantryman can also place it. You just need one to place it. To place multiple. For example, one of these, you can continue to place as many as you want. It just takes time. So now if I right click on this, I can now click on use item, click on the hedgehog, drag, and I'll keep placing hedgehogs till as far as I dragged across on the map. And looking back here, you can see he's halfway on the third one, or fourth one, then over here as well.
So yeah, as you can see, like none of what was covered there, including the inventory stuff, which has a separate tutorial for it, is ever taught in the game or even really mentioned. And there's a lot of these. So yeah, that's a problem with a game that already has a relatively high barrier to entry. That is a problem. So yeah, if you ever get this game, go into bonus missions and play the introduction first. You won't entirely know what you're doing, but then after you play the the first mission of each campaign and look at some of those tutorials, you'll kind of know what you're doing. It's honestly, if you actually want to know what you're doing, there's like a 20-minute tutorial online that just teaches you all the basics. So yeah, now that I've covered that little bit, which one was it? This is the mission I chose to kind of act as an example. So actually, all of the campaigns have the same 8 missions as far as scripting goes, but the actual maps and the units you're using and the units you're fighting against are always different, and the map matters a lot. So it's always going to be a different experience. Basically, this is the intro mission where you first get to have your guys just sit in cover for a little bit while the AI demonstrates how not to attack a position and how not to use vehicles. And then you attack, going and capturing one point and then another and then another, and then you have to defend the last point you captured. And actually, I think the intro missions are actually like one of the best setup. Then is a mission of the type we're going to play soon, which is basically, it's kind of like the multiplayer mode in that you need to capture points and the AI is going to push and try to take them back. Except instead of it being a kind of king of the hill thing, it's a gauntlet that you need to run. And then you have a mission where you're an armored division defending against another armored division. Then you have another of those capture missions. Then you have a stealth mission, which is kind of meh, but it does teach you the stealth mechanics. Then you have another of those capture missions. Then you have a defense mission, which is just a complete cluster. Like, you have to slow the game down extremely on your first time playing to have any chance of beating it, but it is pretty cool. And because you're defending from on 3 different fronts at the same time, and there's kind of a central area that you also want to set up defenses in. And then you have a mission that is kind of like this summation of everything, where there's 5 spread out points you need to capture, and you start out in stealth and you go as you see fit. So we're going to play one of those capture point missions, and normally I play on hard, but this time we are going to play on normal because I've been off today and I'm not sure how well I'm going to perform while I'm also commentating. Probably poorly. This is actually taking a long time to load, and that's because my physical memory is overloaded. Let's fix that. Wow, I still have a huge amount of... It's still at 93%. Jeez. Hopefully that doesn't go too high while we're streaming.
It is good to see you again, Herr Oberstleutnant. The Allies have taken Saint-Hilaire and have paused to regroup. We must strike before they've assembled enough forces to continue their southern advance. Lead the counterattack, Oberstleutnant.
Okay, first I'm gonna hit backspace, slow the game speed to 1. So the campaign, the UI for the campaign is not identical to the UI for the multiplayer. It looks identical at first, but it's not. For one, I can slow down the simulation speed like that, but there's a couple other differences. The reason I slowed it down is because the AI will build up units over time and start sending attacks at us. So I just want to show off. So we've got this capture point back here, which has some AI defenders around it. If this goes down, I lose. It's also got this, which is an infantry killer, which is also effective against light vehicles. So it's pretty decently defended. So then we've got, they kind of like turned a multiplayer map on its side and then copy pasted and then like turned another multiplayer map on its side and then did it one more time.
The Americans are
and then
defending
there's a
the
final
intersection
point at
leading
the
into
end.
the town square. We must capture this position so our armor can advance.
We are not going to be completing this mission in this stream, by the way. We'll probably capture the first at least 2 points, but we'll see after that. Basically, these first couple points are going to be fairly lightly defended. There's usually either good cover or good concealment to approach them in a mission. If I try to push past these points, I'm going to start running into AT weapons and just generally more resistance. And beyond that, I'm going to start running into heavy resistance, and like around here-ish, I'm going to start gaining range of enemy artillery. And just as I go, they're going to send like more stuff and more powerful stuff after me. So I've still got the ability to summon units, but it's more limited in the campaign. And while this UI may look quite similar to the UI from multiplayer, I'm fairly certain that the actual code for this has no similarities with the code for the original UI. You can see when, instead of popping out a thing to the side when I select a category, it does this thing where it like expands, then contracts, then expands to show me the category, and does a similar thing when I need to back out. And this delay is actually not, it's not fixed because it takes longer when I'm in slow motion. So it's tied to the simulation speed for some reason. And this actually is a significant inconvenience when I'm in the heat of a firefight and want to call something in without leaving my control of my infantry. Alright, so I'm going to need more infantry here. Oh, also, if I right-click on this menu, it doesn't actually give me the stats on the infantry. And what I have right here is a really odd squad that's basically all riflemen. That is not normal. I'm going to stick that in a control group. So I need basic infantry. I'm also going to want flamethrower infantry, a sniper, and then for support, I'm going to want a mortar. And you know what? Actually, let's throw in the heavy MG this time. And let's speed up the simulation to normal.
Verstanden.
Alright, so I'm going to prone these guys. By the way, if you learn one hotkey, it should be the prone hotkey. It's really useful to be able to prone your guys instantly at a moment's notice. I'm also going to set these guys to don't attack anyone for the moment. Actually, do I want those guys to move up there? Or do I want them... I may actually want to move my riflemen over there.
Jawohl.
Okay,
Jawohl.
you guys are...
Verstanden.
Alright, so... The flamethrower guys are always going to be on don't attack. Let's set up a base of fire here. So something that you want to do when you're actually getting into a firefight is spread out your infantry. there's multiple very good reasons to do this, which I'll get into once we actually get in a firefight. Here's my SMG guys. I'm gonna move them up through concealment. Okay, you guys, you can attack now. So having these guys set up a base of fire here should draw enemy fire decently and keep it off of the guys who are advancing. Okay, saying these guys up here is doing nothing for me. Okay, inside the house then. Setting up inside buildings, by the way, is really great for making a position that's very difficult to actually assault. It does give you a limited range of fire, but it's often really, really good if you want to just get stuck in a location and be really hard to root out. Okay, I can't just move the flamethrowers all the way up. If I try to do that, they're gonna be screwed. So instead, I'm gonna throw down smoke here. Oh right, I need to position. Wait, no, that's not the flamethrowers. I forgot to move the flame up. Okay, that was a mistake. Let's move the flame up. I can leave those guys laying down fire for a while. The AI is actually pretty good overall at let's prone the sniper, put him up on a high point. Oh, I've got a gap in my line here. That's a problem. Okay, MG Seb facing over there. At least I've got this guy in this window, so he'll provide me some scouting at least. And these defenses here will definitely take out most of the guys coming after me. Okay, let's split the squad up in case they get spotted. I'm deliberately keeping them on hold fire here because if I don't, they will stop and try to shoot things and bad things will happen. Yeah, I'm going much slower than I normally do here. Let's move my medic up because he's not going to do much good back there. Actually, let's move these guys up to this wall here. They should be okay, I think, on this wall. Okay, let's have you guys throw another... Okay, let the smoke set up here. Smoke is actually, like, extremely... Oh wait, I still have these guys on fire. Smoke is actually extremely effective concealment. Okay, I'm gonna... Should I move some of these guys back? No, I don't need to. Like, as long as I'm not firing, this smoke is... I start to say before they kill my guys. Well, at least it was the support infantry. So yeah, that indirect fire, yo. Let's run up my assault troopers here. So they're gonna start capturing this point if there's no enemies around it. Guys, why aren't you firing? Jeez. Okay, well, medics need to be microed in order to actually do their job.
Strategic position.
So I'm actually going to prone this guy and try to get him into the center here, because there he can attack the guys over there. I'm. Oh wait, I didn't call in AAT infantry yet. I'm gonna call them in before I call in another infantry squad. Okay, let's move the MG up a bit. Oh wait, no, not too much.
Jawohl. Da bist du ja.
Reinforcements
Move
have
these
arrived.
guys over here where they'll hopefully engage those enemies. Wait,
Verstanden.
why were they on fire? Okay, let's move some riflemen into the trench. And why are my guys running around like idiots? Okay, chuck a grenade over there.
Jawohl.
If I tell these guys to stop holding fire, all that's going to happen is that they're going
We
to
have
get
lost a strategic
themselves
position
killed.
to the enemy.
Jawohl.
Okay, I can't crawl them up there.
Feuer auf mein Kommando. Verstanden. Jawohl. Jawohl. Get out of here.
Okay, what the
We have
heck?
captured a
Why aren't
strategic
my
position.
guys... okay, yeah, I definitely need more infantry over there.
Jawohl.
Oh wait, and I didn't move those idiots up, and my MG is low on ammo, so I could actually get ammo out of the truck here, but just by moving my guys within that circle, they'll automatically reload. It'll just be a bit slower.
Verstanden.
Okay, let me,
Reinforcements have
Jawohl.
arrived.
I'm gonna move some of my riflemen. Actually, these two guys I want to keep there as scouts. Those guys are drawing enemy fire, but that's okay.
Verstanden.
I do want to micro these guys to where they'll be able to provide some fire once they do, once I do want them to start firing, like...
Verstanden.
Actually, no, don't fire yet, guys.
Verstanden.
Okay, you guys retreat, prone.
Wird erledigt. Verstanden.
Yeah,
Verstanden.
if it looks like your units are gonna die, retreating them is the better option, generally.
Jawohl.
Ah, these guys have moved up. Okay, now I should be able to actually secure this position. Also, let's just throw some flames down. I think there are guys in here. Maybe not. Well, okay, let's prone this guy and he'll just kind of stay there in case I need him.
Verstanden.
Spread you guys out so you can't all be taken out at once.
Jawohl.
Alright, I left that MG over here. Yeah, I'm not being very efficient right now. Yeah, let's set up an MG right there. Actually, let's set up this MG right over here. It'll be useful here. Yeah, normally I don't give the enemy the chance to push all the way up here. Okay, let's get the Panzer Grenadiers in that trench, because that's where they'll most likely be able to engage the first vehicles we see from. By the way, prone on the opposite edge of the trench is often a better defensive place to be than inside the trench, standing up.
Wird erledigt. Verstanden. Jawohl.
Okay, what was I about to do? Okay, I could call in a truck right now, but I don't think it's going to do that much for me. Okay, now that I've pushed up a bit, let's move this MG up to this corner. and I've also moved my mortar up. Alright, so these guys over here shouldn't make too many issues for me, but I should probably get some guys down there just in case. Alright, when I capture points, it actually sets up MGs I can use. Jeez, that's a lot, guys. Okay, I'm going to push the rifles up a bit now because with this MG setup here, it's unlikely that any guys are going to get past there. I think the sniper is still going to be effective where he is. for the moment. Actually, no. Let's, No, I don't want that to stick. Thank you. No, I'm not going to set him up on that area that's exposed. Oh, actually, this is a pretty good position on a nice reverse slope that they're just peeking over. Reverse slopes are great. Wait, I see 2 red vehicles. Are those... Okay, those are both just trucks. And MG should do fine at taking those out. Oh, this MG doesn't have the range. Wait, what the heck blew that up that I... Wait, where's my... Oh, it must have been the mortar, because I think... Wait, where are my AT guys? I lost track of them. I was planning to describe, like, what I was doing and why I was doing it. Oh, my AT guys are right there. Actually, that's good. I'm gonna need them there, but I don't want to send them up without support. Yeah, taking this side and holding it is gonna be a bit trickier than taking the other side was. Let's bring in some Panzer Grenadiers, because they'll... Oh wait, no, the Panzer Grenadiers don't come with an AT weapon. That's the British guys. Is this a reverse swap? No.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Okay, I'm gonna need another group of AT infantry in the near future, so I'm just gonna do that now.
We have captured a strategic position.
Great job. Armored vehicles are now at your disposal.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Okay, let's unload these guys before anything can happen to the half track. Let's also move the MG up. Oh, I got some people killed here. At least it wasn't my, so it was the support guy. Okay. I think that, oh wait, no. There will be a good base of fire. You're not doing a good job of paying it there. Do this direction forward. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't fire unless it has a really good shot. Okay, that was just me being dumb. Wait. Ah, shit. I missed the opportunity to AT grenade. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, wow. So it drove out into the mill and just let me AT grenade it. So yeah, I think it's disabled here, but the guys weren't... Oops. The guys weren't getting out because I would kill them. But it didn't matter. Okay, this is going to be a dangerous spot to put these elite guys, but hopefully they can handle it. Let's let these guys start firing now. Rifleman up. Hopefully if any fire is going to take out guys in the trenches, it'll take the rifleman first. I don't want to go to that corner because that corner's exposed. Do I have enough for armor yet? No, I don't. Yeah, you can see I'm deliberately spreading my guys out to micro them. Okay, let's set up some... Actually, let's set up guys over here, try to clear out the guys that I know are going to be camping there. Alright, my flame guy, who would have actually been useful earlier. Where's the flame guy going to be useful? Maybe? No, it's unlikely he'll actually survive getting there, so... Oh, frick, that is a lot of people firing at me. You know what, flame guy, I'll just stick you over here for now. Okay, do I need more infantry? I don't think so right now. Let's keep pushing up, keep pushing up. I'm actually using a lot more, or a lot fewer advanced tactics than okay, you guys please get to cover quickly. By running, I negate their tendency to stop and fire at random people. Oh, let's move these guys up. That is a tank coming up on me. Oh, this thing got hit when that armored vehicle came up and I forgot about it. Okay, we still have the Panzer Grenadier. Normally what I like to do with these guys is put them in concealment. Please stand. There we go. RPGs and AT rifles have an advantage in that they don't lose armor penetration over distance. There's actually a fairly robust simulation that goes on. I'm actually probably going to end this stream soon because I'm getting tired and I'm forgetting the things that I wanted to describe while playing. And, okay, let's sprint this because it's over open ground. Let's get up to this wall. Let's keep moving people up. Oh wait, no, I don't want to go down that lane because there's guys over there who will shoot me. Oh frick, I'm in grenade range of the enemy. Can I vault this? No, I can't. Okay, because I'm using weak eyes to do this, they are really ruining out the enemies here. You can see being aggressive here, like, this is actually going way easier with my aggressive use of... Let's keep moving them up. Move up one of the, with AT on. Oh, I can tank now. I think the stuff is good here.
We have captured a strategic position. Brigade headquarters grants you additional resources and access to the veteran title to report progress.
Yeah, I am not spending all of the resources on Veteran Tiger. That is not happening. Okay, so gates actually, fun fact, so some gates you can unlock, some you can't, and the first instinct is to blow them up, but you can actually just shoot the lock for some reason. Wait, what? I didn't realize there was an AT gun that's set behind that. That's That's a weird place to have one. Whatever. That thing's going to be dead long before it has a chance to threaten any vehicles. That's a base fire. Can I advance? I think so. Yeah, this means they're out of ammo, but I'm probably going to just push these guys up anyway, because one of the many quality of life improvements I keep forgetting to mention is that ammo is shared among squad members. So I'm calling in Pack 38, which is an AT gun, which you want to keep back in cover and concealment, because
Reinforcements have arrived.
Those guns aren't really armored, but they are very effective at taking out tanks as long as the... Oh, wow. The AI just had a bunch of guys stand down in the open here. Thank you, AI. Okay, I think now I can pull this... What? Where are you going? I think now I can pull this thing up and actually have it do something. Actually, this guy, I'm gonna have you... Oh wait, you're an MG guy. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna designate you to the role of truck driver. Oh, I forgot my sniper. Where would be a good spot for the sniper? Probably on top of that hill. This MG can move up to... Actually, it would be good to have an MG over here, because I've historically had some difficulty holding that spot. And let's bring in one more infantry squad, and I'll have a couple of them become truck drivers. Oh, actually, I can press up to this wall now. Great. Flamethrowers, by the way, they can also burn people out of buildings really well, but against the AI, you never really need to worry about that. Do I have AT over here? Okay, I do have AT over here. That massive guy's over there is going to gun down me when I try to send forward. Part of the problem is that most of my fire is focused on actually, not oh, and these guys are out of ammo. Can I actually ground fire this and suppress them? Is it out of range? Okay, that's really... Oh, it's being blocked by the hedgehog? Okay, this is really confusing. I'll deal with that later. Oh, there's an enemy tank that's dead now. Oh wait, it's not dead. Oh, it will be soon though, because my guys are shooting the crew. Most of the time when a tank dies, it's just disabled and it can be repaired, which is something to keep in mind. Alright, I summoned these infantry. Let's send one of the riflemen to drive this. So I automatically actually have a supply truck and an engineer truck, but they're both unmanned to start. Oh, hello, Jeffrey. I highly encourage you later to look at the start of the stream, because I explained quite a bit about this game and why there are problems with it that I haven't shown off here. Move you up a little bit. Don't want to go too far or it'll get murdered by AT. Keep being aggressive as I push. Wait, why did I just stick these things over here? They're not useful there at all. Okay, the AT gun, best behind sandbags, right here. Okay, this is an infantry killer. I could use an infantry killer over here. It'll also be useful against light vehicles there. Okay, ammo truck, you are going to get stuck right there, except the tanks. And you can move up and help me with taking stuff out here. Okay, no, I have not properly suppressed that gun still. Okay, can I get a grenade on it? That may be too close. Oh wait. Okay, I don't think that gun's properly manned. Let's drive up there and try to... Oh, there's hedgehogs. There's hedgehogs in the way. Actually, I think this can drive through the hedgehogs. Come on. Oh! Frick, rockets. That's not good. Well, they're dead. But I did take out the AT gun. Okay, that's also in grenade range, so I don't want to move my guys up there. You guys go back to the ammo truck, spectacular explosions. Oh, frick, that's a lot of guys, and my guys are out of ammo. Run. Let's bring in more Panzer Grenadiers. You know what, I'm starting to panic here, and like I said, I'm not actually explaining the things I'd intended to explain. So I'm actually going to save this game, and assuming I actually remember to do another stream of this... Oh, that infantry fighting vehicle is so good. I will resume there. So thanks for watching, everyone. Yes. There. Oh my god, the little infantry units are right now all of the ammo right now. It's not as hard to manage as it seems, but it is... There's a very high learning curve, which I kind of addressed earlier on, how they don't handle teaching it to you very well. And while they make a ton of UI improvements to make all of this micromanagement easier on you, like, the game is basically about choosing where you want to micromanage and where you don't. They also, there's some that still really could be improved, and there's, oh wait, no, I need infantry over here. And there's also some serious issues with how they teach you the game. Anyway, okay, now that I've said that, yes, Drac, the units have inventory, and I am ending the stream off here, but I highly encourage you to watch the recording of it, especially the beginning where I actually am fully coaching and explaining useful things, and I think there's infantry right over here that are going to take this back. Okay, let's save this. I'll resume this game if I remember to stream this again. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you next time.